If you're feeling overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do in order for you to start seeing progress or changing your mindset or for you to get your life together, this video is going to help you a lot. I am not here to motivate you, but some parts in this video might seem motivational, but it is real and it is more so a mindset shift more than anything. This whole video is a group call with my community, and we do these calls bi-weekly, and so I can help people get out of their own head, because there is a lot of people that will feel overwhelmed in a fitness journey, in a health journey, or any sort of journey where you're trying to shift your life and become better. Let me know if you get anything out of the video. I'll see you later.
Hello, everyone, for the recording. Solid. So, a lot of new faces in the community today. It's really awesome to see. Really hyped to have all of you here. And you guys made it a good time. This is perfect timing because these are the kind of calls that I love to give. And you'll see more of these. Like I said, either nutrition, mindset, training. It just truly depends on what people struggle with. So I try and make it as valuable as possible. So like I was saying earlier, everyone was kind of struggling with overwhelm in our check-ins on live calls and so on. So that's what I talk about. So I'm going to try and give as much mindset shift as I can in the next 40-ish, 5-ish minutes. So overwhelm. So this is a cycle that most people hang out in. So overwhelm happens when your brain sees change as a threat. And when your brain sees change as a threat, your mind wants to keep you safe. So it convinces you that staying the same is easier. But safe doesn't always mean good or actually safe, right? Your brain just knows it as familiar to both your mind and your body, right? So whatever your mind and body and whatever you experience from the past history, that is what your body and your mind see as safe, whether it's good or bad. It just doesn't decipher. So that means overwhelm isn't actually real then. It's just your old self throwing a tantrum because it doesn't want to die. It goes back to the familiar and the safe, right? It goes back to what it knows. So you're not broken. You're just operating out of old programming that you learned from the past, right? So this is where the mindset stuff comes in, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But you've done everything in your power to stay on track, and you fall off and you ask yourself, why does this only happen to me? Why can't I figure this out? I'm sure people have asked themselves that question every now and then. I do the same. This is what your cycle may look like. I don't have the time, money, energy, or attention to do the thing that I want to do. So therefore, I don't know what to do. Therefore, you try and take messy action or no action at all because you feel overwhelmed as fuck. And then you try and learn from your mistakes, but you make too many mistakes to learn from and do the same mistakes over and over again. You don't know where to really start, right? You're just throwing spaghetti at the wall. And then you're anxious and ashamed and embarrassed and annoyed and frustrated that you're doing everything wrong without results, or you feel like you're doing everything wrong. And then you take the easy way out and give up, or even worse, you just never take action again. So does that resonate with everyone? Drop it in the chat, because I'd love to hear, because I know a lot of people struggle with that type of mindset or just that. Rudy raised his hand. Nice. That makes sense. Here's the chat, by the way. Here's the chat if you don't see it, because sometimes it's weird to open it up in Google Meets. Give me 1 second. I'll let people comment while I get my water. Ugh. I'm trying to have dry mouth this entire presentation. So let's continue. So after your cycle, you may look like, I need motivation, right? Many of you need motivation to start doing the things that I've asked of you. Or how many of you, I'm asking, is the ones that have been in the program. I'll ask, how many of you need motivation to start doing the things that I've asked? Or doing the things that you need to know that you need to do? Drop it in the chat. Or you can just raise your hand, either way. Hi, Luke. Okay, Luke raises his hand. Karina, raise your hand. Okay, cool. Cool. Anyone else? If not, I'm glad that Jeff raised his hand. Cool, I can see that. Appreciate you guys being vulnerable. I've had some internal motivation, but it definitely pauses sometimes. Okay, that's good. I'm glad that you, internal motivation's more intrinsic, so that's good. I'm glad you have more intrinsic. Extrinsic is more like you need something to happen or people to push you. But how's that going for you? You get a whim of motivation and all of a sudden you want to tackle the world. But when it's time to make your bed, you're drained, you're lost, questioning your ability, questioning your worth. right? Why is this? Here's an analogy I'm going to use. You're at war. There's an internal battle going on, and you're unconscious as fuck around it. You're both the enemy and the ally, but you don't know the reason why you're at war. And I was talking to another client earlier today, and I was like basically telling him how people deem their demons as bad, but your demons are you. Your demons are literally older versions of you, and people try and shy away from them or not give them energy or attention or love or any, sort of internal work that prevents them from basically digging deeper. So you're at war with your demons, but your enemies are you. So welcome to the battle. So war is a smokescreen. You all know what you need to do. Most people do, right? Eat better, move, work out, do the things. Most of us know what we need to do, like the basic shit, right? But the solutions are right in front of you. But because you're overwhelmed, drained, exhausted, unworthy, unfit, financially unstable, anxious, depressed, you're giving yourself a way out, right? Like I said, the mind only knows familiar. If you've been depressed in the past, or if you've been exhausted in the past, and that has caused you to show up with a lot of excuses or reasons to not show up for what you want, it's going to go back to that same programming. These are all smoke screens for the internal battle that you're going through. How will you find out the real reason for this war, though? Ask yourself. Just ask. You truly believe you're in this alone, but look around you. You're in a community. You have me. You have a lot more support now. And I'm sure you have had support in the past. You just haven't been able to ask because maybe, like I said, you're anxious or depressed or exhausted. You feel like maybe you're gonna get judged. So asking goes a long way because you never know what answers you're gonna get from people. But you believe deep down that you're a special unicorn that has never felt the way that you feel. What that means is people feel a certain way, like I'm the only one that's depressed and no one knows how I feel, and they shy away and they isolate themselves. So that means that you recluse because of shame, guilt, fear, judgment, anxious, depression, childhood conditioning. All this stuff basically makes you recluse and isolate into a different, not an isolation version of you. You're trying to shy away from the version of you that needs more attention. We all have been through what you're going through right now. Same root, experiential feeling, different circumstances and different spectrum, right? I'm sure everyone here has felt depression. Everyone here has felt anxiousness, instability, financial overwhelm, exhausted, all of it, right? Everything I listed out. Obviously, there's a spectrum, but I'm just showing you, in order for you to not recluse and isolate, you have to understand you have support and there's people around you that have gone through similar things, just different circumstances, right? It's all the same root cause feeling. So does that make sense, everyone? Let me know if it doesn't. Like I said, use the chat if you have any questions about anything. I shall continue. So continuing, the war is a smokescreen. Who here has felt depressed? I think I got ahead of myself. Who here has felt anxious? Scared, riddled with fear, shamed, abused, guilty, happy, joyful, excited, on top of the world. We are all the fucking same, right? If you're overwhelmed, I've been overwhelmed and lost and shamed and scared as fuck and depressed because I didn't know who I was without the overwhelm, right? Your brain doesn't know who you are without certain feelings because, like I said, you go back to old habits from familiar. And if you felt overwhelmed in the past and you give up because you don't know what you're doing and you feel lost and ashamed, then that's what's going to happen again, unless you have a way to break it. And that's what we're going to talk about later. You tell yourself, this is who I am when I'm experiencing this, right? Oh, I'm just depressed. This is what I do. Oh, I am just anxious. This is what I do. Oh, I am just burnt out. This is what I do. But why can't I be riddled with happiness? You always hear it everywhere else. Like, I'm riddled with fear. I'm riddled with like anxiousness. You've never heard anyone say, oh, I'm riddled with happiness today. I feel so fucking grateful today. We're always fucking riddled with fucking anxiousness, overwhelm, and sadness. But why not the opposite? Programming. Why can't I experience happiness going through this? It's an identity thing. And we'll talk about identity later. This is just this is probably going to be a whole separate group call, but identity is something that we as a collective need to work on. So the war of one. Your identity is at war because you don't know who you are without attaching the overwhelm, right? You are not overwhelm itself. You are a human. You are experiencing overwhelm, right? You are not the overwhelm. You combine them and then you're like, because I'm experiencing this, therefore I am this. I am shameful or I am anxious. But underneath that, you're just a person. You're just attaching yourself. So if you remove the smoke screen, where is this feeling coming from? Where is the overwhelm coming from? Detach yourself. Do you feel unworthy of success? Are you fearful of judgment, disappointment, therefore never taking action because you care too much about what people think of you? Are you focused on someone else's chapter 30 while you're still in chapter 3 and don't even know what the fuck the book is about? If you don't know your identity, who you are at the core, then you will continue that cycle you're in. This is why finding out who you are, what you want, how you want to feel, and who you want to be in the next coming year or a couple months, it's important. Having a clear picture, which is what we're going to get into again. I'm just creating a picture so you understand what people are experiencing. If you don't have that consistent energy to put into the desired outcome, you're feeding the enemy in this war. And the war is only won with pressure, not chilling for a couple weeks. Your future self isn't waiting. They've already done the work, right? You don't have to believe in them fully today. You just need to act like them. This is part of manifestation and so on, right? You just need to not create, but just need to act out of alignment with the version of you that you're trying to become and bring their actions into the now. So just stop asking yourself, why am I stuck? And start asking yourself, what would my future self do today in this moment? So if it was joining this program and taking the first step towards that, then that's where you're at. And that's why you're here. And I'm happy for a lot of you that are joining. Everyone in general, all of you. So this is who I am. Not me specifically, but in general. Shifting your identity in this war requires you to wake the fuck up and understand who you are at your core without the overwhelm or any other attachment that you're holding. Here for the bigger purpose than your own. I meant to ask, is that a question? Hold on. Okay, I'm asking you, are you here for a bigger purpose? I meant to put R. Are you here for a bigger purpose than your own? Is your word your bond? Do you uphold your boundaries? Do you keep promises to yourself? Are you energetically aligned with the goals and creating the reality you deserve? Without these things, you are pretending someone else that isn't you, right? These are things that hold us integral to ourselves. And what that means is you're just keeping promises and building trust with yourself to be more in alignment with the version of you that you know you deserve to be. Be who you really are and let go. Because if you're not truly who you are reinforcing who you are. Because if you are not truly who you are reinforcing who you are is not worthy of being perceived, judged, loved, heard, and understood. Let me know if that doesn't make sense, because I'll try and explain it in layman's terms. If you are not truly who you are right now, right, you are reinforcing who you are not. If you're reinforcing who you are not, the version of you that, the old programming, you are reinforcing the cycle of someone that is not true to themselves, trustworthy of themselves, being perceived fully and like vulnerable, loved, understood, right? Being authentic is what I'm saying here. So if you're not being authentic, you're holding up an identity that doesn't serve you. And this is all tied to lack, which is something that we can talk about later. And the lack is something that you have without. So lack is the idea that your highest self identity doesn't exist. So let's go through valleys and peaks. So what's it going to take? You want to feel more of this. You should maybe ask yourself that question. Do you want to feel more of this? The lack, the unworthiness, the anxiousness, the overwhelm, depression, all of it. Are you willing to feed the enemy while they kill you off in your sleep, basically, over time? The longer you sit here in this valley of despair, unconscious, scared to ask for help, riddled with anxiety, the longer it will be to recover to get to the peak. Right? You're going to sit in the valley for a long time if you don't resonate with people and start asking for help and get out of your shell and start breaking the old patterns. It starts with asking, right? That's the biggest thing, is asking. Most people, like I said, recluse, believe that they're the only one experiencing what they're experiencing. But you'll find out very fast that everyone in this community has felt something very similar to what you're feeling. You're in enough pain already. Let it go. So here's a distance beta paradox. This is a theory, I believe, but it basically says people will, I'll go to the next sign. If the situation is not bad enough, you'll stay in it, right? The situation has to get worse in order for you to make a change. And that's the case for so many people. And the distance beta paradox basically means, do I actually give you the definition here? Never mind. The distance beta paradox, for a distance, it says you'll walk a mile if it's a mile, but if it's 2 miles, you'll drive, right? It has to get double the distance in order for you to just drive. But why don't you just drive the first mile, right? That doesn't make sense. People are in a mindset where they have to experience maximum pain in order for them to find change, right? That's what drives change. And ideally, some people need to experience it sooner in life, and some people just experience it a lot later. But the more that you put it aside, it's more of a comfort thing, right? So I'll relate it to business, relationships, fitness, mindset, love life, all that stuff, right? You can insert whatever goal. It's kind of doing good, sort of, but it's mainly comfort. But if something pushed you over the edge, you'll remove yourself from the situation faster, right? So like I said, love life, for example. Let's say you're in a toxic relationship. It has to get really bad before you actually make a decision. Relationship-wise or business-wise, right? You have to go into crazy debt before maybe you call bankruptcy. I don't know. Or even fitness, right? Same thing. Health overall. You have to go to the doctor and your doctor has to tell you that you're pre-diabetic or something. So I already got ahead of myself. Toxic relationships, shitty jobs, shitty family relationships, bad friends, all of it. If the valley isn't deep enough, you'll stay. But if you dig and hit a casket, you'll fucking run. Right? Oh shit, there's some skeletons in this closet. Let's not go there. So here's our pillars. One of my pillars is movement. If you didn't know them, and you'll see them in your Google Sheets every week. Training, nutrition, mindset, sleep, movement, water. I give you a protocol based off that, right? Movement comes from the core word move. It means continuous progress, no matter how small. If you're not moving, you're stuck. And being stuck is how enemy kills you off in your sleep in this war. You can swim, climb, run, crawl, move out of the fucking valley. Ask for help. Small progress is progress is progress. So move. Imagine this. I like this analogy. So you're on an island. You ran out of resources, no food, no water. There's another island about 5 miles out. You can barely see it. Pretty far. You have 2 choices. Swim or die. You obviously start swimming, right? There's no fucking food. You're a quarter of the way there and you think, I got this. This is pretty easy. I'll keep swimming, right? Distance beta paradox, right? And then the further you keep swimming, the water gets colder. You're getting tired. You stop about midway and the fear, overwhelm, lack, doubt start coming up. You start feeling the seaweed touch your feet. Think it's a fucking shark. You look back to the old island that you swam from and think of swimming back to everything that is familiar. Does that make sense? Is this light bulb moment? Comfortable, even though there are no resources. What your ego, your subconscious, isn't telling you is that you're halfway, right? You've already swam past a quarter, or probably at the halfway mark. There's no resources, and you're already halfway. The paradox is, it doesn't matter if you swim back or swim to the other island, the distance is the same. You're already halfway. But you already know what's familiar, even though it has no fucking resources. But you're scared, so fearful of the unknown, and so identified with the overwhelm. So out of the alignment with who you are, so you'll listen to the voices that tell you to go back. Does that resonate with everyone? I always tell myself this whenever I'm going through like maybe some deep valley that I'm trying to, understand and find a lesson out of. So what I'm trying to say is the identities that you hold in the middle of swimming to wherever you're trying to get, let them go, but also understand how to work through them. Don't just kill them off. So be friends with your demons, but also learn to combat your ego when it's telling you to swim back and give up and throw in the towel. So there's either growth or die. Humans aren't designed to not evolve, right? It's a double negative. Basically, we're designed to evolve, right? You're human, right? This is the test of overwhelm, fear, doubt, depression, lack, identity, attachment, success. If you're not committing to growth, then you're in the wrong program, right? There's other containers that are probably going to give you a PDF plan, tell you to fuck off. That's about it. I don't do that here. I've learned from several other mentors, experienced a lot myself, and I continue to want to grow myself so I can bring everyone up with me. So if you're not dedicated to growth, I want to tell you. Showing up for yourself, just like exercise, right, at the gym or wherever, is a form of self-love, right? So some days are heavier than others, but you know what? You are worthy of it because you haven't had one day you haven't overcome. That doesn't mean that you have to keep doing it alone. Look around you. You have support. You have me. You have Ash, which is our mindset coach. You haven't met her, but you're going to meet her on the 3rd Monday of this month, and you obviously have access to her. But she'll pop in the chat every now and then. And you have community. But what you don't have is time to identify with overwhelm. The longer you identify with it, the longer you are holding yourself back and giving the ego a chance to swim home. But it's not your home. Finding the root of it is not easy, right? Finding the root cause of where stemming over all this overwhelm from is not easy at all. But it's simple, right? Most people are holding the key to what they're looking for. They're just sitting on the fucking key. Oh, did I do this twice? That's beautiful. We love that. I did that slide twice. So let's bring it back to winner's mindset. I did this call like a couple months ago, and this is where I got this from. This one's a little bit of tough love, but we'll get into it. So we're meant to evolve, right? So if we're meant to evolve, meaning, not Darwinism. I think it's Darwinism. Anyway, this means that winners win and losers lose. Meaning the winners create the evolution. And you know what's funny about both situations? They're both overwhelming. It's overwhelming to be unhealthy. It's overwhelming to be healthy. It's overwhelming to be broke. It's overwhelming to be wealthy. Unconscious versus conscious. Inconsistent versus consistent. They're all overwhelming. Winning versus losing. Choose a version of you that actually moves forward. Like I said, the core pillar is movement. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. It's not about perfection. It's about choosing discomfort that leads to growth, even if it means a little bit. If you're going to struggle with either, struggle in the direction that actually gets you closer to your goals. right? The direction and making mistakes will tell you more about how to continue that path rather than trying to be perfect the first time, which is where overwhelm struggles from, especially me. I'm huge, not huge on, but I used to be huge on analysis paralysis, and that caused a lot of my overwhelm. I had to be perfect in every fucking decision, and that prevented me from moving forward. But making more mistakes, asking for help along the path taught me more about the path than making the right decision from the get-go. But one path will guarantee this. You fucking tried and held true to your core identity and your core values, right? The path of growth. And if you're going to feel overwhelmed, feel it when you're a winner, right? If both are overwhelming, you might as well feel it when you're a winner, when you're healthy, when you're wealthy as well, healthy and wealthy and consistent. You should give up when everything is great, because that way you don't know you're being a fucking bitch. That's just real shit. Give up when everything is great. Give up when you've actually accomplished the goals that you set out. That's when you're like, okay, I made it. But if you made it, you might as well just continue building momentum and keep going. Why stop? That's complacency. So the path of the winner isn't easy. It's simple. And it just continues growth mindset. And it shouldn't feel overwhelming, because I'm going to help you build smaller versions of you in iterations. They're going to help you leap into evolution. It's really cool to see when people start seeing that. Winners risk it all. Winners go all in and don't look back. It's either a lesson or a huge win. There's no in between. I always say, and I learned this when I was, on my entrepreneurship journey, I guess. I was trading stocks back in the day. You lose a lot. I had to learn really fast. It's either a lesson, not a loss. Lessons, not losses. That was something that my mentor always told me. So at the time, I always had to figure out a lesson no matter what, no matter how hard something got, right? Something in the valley always taught me something. Oh, there you go. Lessons, not losses is my mantra. Nothing is a loss if you get a nugget, a lesson, a perspective shift, a mirror to show you what to not do, right? I've invested in programs and that told me like, okay, I don't want to fucking do that for my community. Fuck that. I've been given PDFs and I was like, oh, that was fucking dumb. That was a waste. So why do you label yourself as a failure or unworthy when things don't work the first time? It's like the definition of insanity, isn't it? You got to shift your perspective from thinking it's supposed to work the first time. It's not. That's delusion. Don't be delulu. Everything takes effort. And the reason that people win the lottery and go from zero to fuck you money and then back to zero is because they don't know how to energetically hold it all, right? That's a lesson that you talk from being a millionaire for a couple of months and then you lose it all. Same applies to losing hella weight really fast, building muscle really fast, steroids that backfire. Trying to get strong really fast, doing everything really fast obviously doesn't work. Show me one person that has accomplished something fast and has been able to sustain it for the rest of their life. And I'll send you $100 if you do. People want, I had someone put in the check-in, I can't remember. Can I just wake up skinny? I'm like, I guarantee you in the next 2 months, you're going to be back where you started. Foundation is everything. Foundation is everything. If you haven't built foundation, you're not going to be able to energetically hold it. And what happens? You're going to swim back. So here's some tangibles. Winners risk it all. What can you do today to start shifting your identity? You guys can take screenshots of this or write it down. These are like questions to ask yourself. So what can you do today and start shifting your identity? Decide who the fuck you are. Get crystal clear. And not the version of you that's riddled with overwhelm and anxiety, but the version of you that's confident, focused, and aligned. What do they look like, feel like, talk like? What people are they around? So on. You can take a whole screenshot at the end if you want. You don't have to write it down right now. And then you want to act accordingly. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Don't wait until Monday, right? Treat every day as if it's a Monday and treat every month if it's a January. You'll never fall behind. Your future self is already real. The only thing missing is your decision to act like them. The longer you wait, the further you get. Number 2, create habits that support this new identity. Start small, right? Don't pick a whole fucking plethora. Start small, pick one routine, one habit, one action that aligns with your true self, and commit to it. If that means I'm going to go to the gym for 2 months straight, no excuses, no bullshit. I don't care if I'm sick. I don't care if I have a late night. Do that. Commit to that. Remember, it's not about doing a lot. It's about doing the right things consistently. And even if it's not the right thing from the start, it will give you more direction and more guidance around what needs to be done. And then track your progress. Celebrate the small wins. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. And then you want to surround yourself with people who support your growth. Your environment is crucial. Be around people who inspire you, who push you, who challenge you to be better every single day. Plot twist. You're in it. You're here. If you made it in this community, you're fucking here. This community is really dope. A lot of people here share a lot of their wins. I see them every week, and we share them in the chat. We celebrate with each other. So if you haven't had a community like this, be prepared. Take a screenshot of this. These are all the tangibles for you to work on and ask yourself. So that way you can start acting in accordance. Is that it? Oh, I have one more quote. Solid. Oh no, go back. Be the person you're supposed to. Be the person you're supposed to be while you're here. Don't wait until your life is over to meet them. Right? Don't be scared. Be the person you're supposed to be while you're here. You only get one. Take the risk. That's it. How was it? How are we feeling? Does anyone have any questions? Any reflections? Did we like it? Did we not? Was it too harsh? Was it too... Thanks, Alex. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you, brother. Anyone have any perspective shifts? Thanks, Rudy. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jeff. And John. All the thumbs up. Any reflections from any of the slides, or something you want me to go back to that didn't make sense in terms of like subconscious stuff? Because I know it threw a lot at you, but maybe, you know. Why do these always speak like directly to me? Which part, Ali? Come off mute. Maybe it'll resonate with someone else.
Okay, don't hate me, but I literally just got off work and I had to buy groceries, so I've been listening to this the whole time I'm at the grocery store. But
Beautiful.
I'm just like just from today, I'm like insanely just overwhelmed with everything. And I kind of talked to you about this already, but I'm just kind of like, I don't know, surrendering everything to the journey. I'm just here, you know, doing my best. Whatever happens is gonna happen. I'm just along for the ride and it's fine. But like, oh man, I know that feeling of overwhelm so much. And it's just like remembering that there's all, or I guess like there's a reason for everything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This is all just kind of on the grind and it's all going to be worth it. Because I feel like, especially in like previous chats when we were like talking about like our younger selves and like making those promises, like I don't want to let her down, you know? She's still like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with all her dreams and everything. I don't want to like give up on that, you know? So just trying not to get like overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed, if that makes any sense.
Wait, say that last part again.
I don't want to like be overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed, if that makes
Yes.
sense. I don't know.
Yes.
Like, because that's when I feel like that's when you fail. Like, feeling overwhelmed is okay, but you just gotta like lean into it and keep going. Like, I had like the worst day at work, but like I still need to get groceries. I still need to get my calories in, even though I'm not hungry like at all. And you just gotta like put your head down and do it sometimes, you know?
When you feel double overwhelm, that's not ideal. That's your body telling you to pull back. But it's
Uh-huh.
also your body telling you to, like, whatever situation you're in, it's obviously not in alignment with the version.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we can decipher good situations from bad situations, or
Yeah.
stressful situations from others, but
Mhm.
yeah. So in terms of the overwhelm, what do you think is causing the most overwhelm right now for you?
I mean, right now I'm struggling to, like I was saying before, like not completely disassociate from work and not get shiny object syndrome with all of these like side hustles that look interesting, and just stick with the plan and keep going and just having faith that everything's going to work out the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's also like finding that balance between like letting it all happen the way it needs to be versus like pushing myself and like staying on the grind to make sure I get where I want to be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
So a little bit of analysis paralysis, shiny object syndrome, and not knowing what to choose.
those 80 of them HDs are just going off. Let me tell you.
Too many HDs.
So many. Oh god.
Yeah. Like I said, take a screenshot of this. Or let me share my screen again. Pick
Oh, I
one.
did. I
Oh,
did
okay,
take a
great.
screenshot.
Great. Yeah. Pick one habit. Pick one venture. Pick one.
Mhm.
Commit to it. Stick to it.
Yeah, because I know you said that you had shiny object syndrome
Yeah.
like before, and you've struggled with that, and I really resonate with that because like I
Mhm.
have trouble with that too. When you're like just struggling to like climb out of the career that you hate, and you see like all of these like different ads, like we can help you here, we could, you know, make
Yeah.
like all this money doing nothing. You're like, all right, do I drink the Kool-Aid or is it just more bullshit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to decipher sometimes, but yeah.
It's it's just choosing one that's going to help you understand what is more in alignment with what you want to do, right? Not everyone starts their venture off with like, I fucking love this from the get-go. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
messy action and failures,
Mm-hmm.
but one that helps you feel like you're not, what's the word? Yeah, one that feels like you're not overwhelmed, right? There's
Right.
not at least like a big wall of overwhelm. It'll feel a little
Yeah.
overwhelmed, but it'll start to catch on fast. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No,
But
no, it does. It's just like these when we get to these group calls, I feel like half the time, I don't know, I feel like it directly speaks to what's going on in my life. And it's like, all right, come on.
yes,
Ugh,
I'm glad. That's why I made it. Just for
yeah.
you. Just for you,
Great.
Allie.
Great. Y'all can go home now. Oh gosh.
Yeah. We'll talk more later. I'm glad that it spoke to you though. That's good.
Yeah.
So anyone
I
else have, yeah.
I had
What's
a
up,
question
baby?
that was kind of similar to something Allison was saying, was that like, sorry, it's like it's in my brain really well, but then like getting it out, it's gonna be like a little mushy.
Go for it.
But so like I feel like sometimes when I'm going through something or when I'm overwhelmed or stressed, I kind of just feel like a rag doll that's like being pushed over in a wave, where it's like you don't really know what's going on. You just have to kind of like hold your breath and like wait until it's done. And so I'm not really sure of like if there's a healthy balance between like being in charge and like deciding what you're going to do so you have like the outcome you want, or whether or not you need to just like wait until it's done, like the overwhelm is done. Because it's like I feel like sometimes I just like wait for everything to finish happening so I can kind of like rebuild, versus like should I be like actively fighting against certain things so it's like not as much of a rebuild. I don't know if that makes sense. It kind of makes sense in my head, but
So you're saying you go into freeze mode almost, and you wait for things to pass because you don't know what to do, and you're just waiting for like the overwhelm to go away.
kind of, or at least like wait for like a pause in it. Because I'm thinking of like this summer when everything was happening, like I was so deep in everything that it's like I had to wait. Like I couldn't really do anything but wait. And like once there was a window, I was like, okay, now's my chance. And then I like scrambled to get out of it, you know?
So that's when you ask yourself, what parts of this situation is obviously one, causing the overwhelm, and two, what can I control?
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, unless it's happening to like a family member, but you can help them into some sense, right? 95% of the things are in your control. You just don't have a solution for you to do what you need to do right there and then. So I just call it problem solving mode, right? And entering that mode requires one, a calm mind. So that's where we go into stress management, and like, let's start doing some meditation, some breath work, some journaling, some voice memoing, go touch some grass and get some motherfucking sun. Whatever helps you clear your mind to help you, like, okay, now that I got that out, stress is a little lower. I think I can write out what I need to do to solve the issue. Does that make sense? Like, I'll talk myself through issues and talk myself through problems through voice memo and see what's causing the overwhelm and how I can get around it. Like, can I do something today? Like right now? Because otherwise I'm not going to sleep. And if I sleep, it's going to be the first thing that I would think about, which happens. And that's normal. That's part of being human. But if you can condense the amount of times that it doesn't happen, that's ideal. And that's more of like what I was talking about earlier, the beta paradox, distance beta paradox. There's a whole YouTube video on it, but like I said, it's waiting until the overwhelm goes away is still that paradox where you're waiting until it goes away to make a change because it's gone, or until the overwhelm is like basically making you on edge and you can't sleep and you wake up in the middle of the night. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah, I think so. It needs to marinate my brain. But yeah.
Stress management is going to be the big one. If anything you got, if you got anything out of that, it's stress management. Overwhelm is just stress, just painted over with like pretty colors and sprinkles.
I feel like it's hard sometimes though. Like maybe I kind of get what Izzy's saying. Like it's hard sometimes to know when to surrender versus when to take control. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like those times get a little bit confusing, I guess.
I would argue that they're the same. Surrender and control are the same. Surrendering to the process means you have done everything in your power to control the controllables, and then surrendering to the rest.
Okay.
You can't control the fucking weather, all that shit, right? All the stuff that's literally out of your hands. But in terms of the reality you're experiencing and the journey you're on, they're both kind of in the same. They're like yin yang. So that's when it comes to like context. Like, did you get hit by lightning, or are you just experiencing a lot of overwhelm? You know what I mean? It's like, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. No, I totally do.
And it might be hard to kind of, I only say that now because a lot of mentors in the past, they told me like, just surrender to the process, just surrender. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And it took a lot of time. And the only way that I was able to surrender was by taking control of what I can. And then everything else goes to the universe and God. I did what I could. I did my doables, my non-negotiables. I stuck to my word. Like I was saying earlier in the slide deck, like my word is my bond. I'm keeping my promises. I'm going to do what I tell myself. Outside of that, fuck it. It's not my name of control. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I
So-
mean, there are times where I have to really like chill out for sure because I don't like to take no for an answer because like I'm always like find a way or make one type thing. And so like sometimes when I really do have to surrender, it's hard to just like let go and just like say, all right, whatever, whatever's gonna happen happens. Like that's something that took me like a long time to accept and it's still hard sometimes, you know what I mean?
And that just means that it's not the right time, you know? The right thing at the wrong time can be dangerous to some people, right? Like I was saying earlier in the slides, the lotto, right? The people that win the lotto and go back to zero, the right thing in the wrong time. That's a no from the universe. That's a big fuck you.
Right.
So it's like I said, the whole thing comes back to overwhelm is coming from the past. The whole point of this deck, if you get anything out of it, is to like not run from overwhelm, but what would future me be doing right now? What does higher self need to be doing? Let me bring that to now. Because then now you're operating out of problem solving mode. Not like, how do I run away from the old island? It's like, how the fuck do I get to the new one as fast as possible? Does that help better? Because I think a lot of people are like still thinking about the past. Like, oh, this situation happened. How do I work through it? It's like, okay, well, situation happened. What other options do I have moving forward?
Yeah, no, it does help. It does. I think, yeah, just getting my brain out of like, this situation just happened. Now what type of a thing, and just like
Mhm.
focusing on future me and what we're going to be doing in the next few months.
Yeah. You get it?
Yeah.
Luke, do you have your hand up? Oh, okay. Come off mute, dude. Anytime.
Yeah, so I just feel like I don't appreciate this call because if you wanted to tell me something, you could have just told me. You didn't have to do this in front of everybody in the
My
whole
bad.
group.
I know. I need to explain some way. You were.
Like if you had something that you have my number, you could have called me.
I'm gonna leave a voice memo next time, bro. A 30-minute voice memo.
No. I appreciate the call. I do. I
I'm glad, dude.
appreciate this topic was needed.
I think you get like a huge shift out of most calls. I want you to take this call with like a fat grain of salt. Because you take other ones with like a smaller grain of salt, you make some mindset shifts, and then it's like, oh, what happened? Take the screenshot.
Yeah.
Down.
Actually, can you share your screen one more time?
Sure, brother.
I was in the middle of something.
Or is there a way that you can send this to us so we can
Yeah,
keep
it's gonna
it?
be. Yeah, it's in the disc. So the Discord. Here I'll tag it in the chat. Or it's right there. Yeah, weekly group call recordings. So weekly group call recordings. Are you in the Discord yet, Sky? No, I'll send you the link later.
No, it's
And
okay. I'll set it up today. I've just had a lot today.
no, I know. This is more of a lot, but
It's okay. I mean, I'm getting to it eventually.
yeah. So I'll get you into the Discord. Rudy too. Everyone else that hasn't joined the Discord. It's in the weekly group call recording tab, and that'll take you to a YouTube playlist. I put them on YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll have all the other group calls there too, if you ever want to watch them. Take a screenshot, Luke.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, cool. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Solid? Gucci.
I just want to say I loved how you said that the mind only knows familiar.
And I feel like a lot of that is what we struggle with, you know? Change is growth, obviously. So that uneasy feeling is just means that we're growing in some aspect of in our lives. So I appreciate that.
I'm glad that you got something out of it. Yeah, growth is. I wouldn't even say it's like uncomfy. It's just that's how your mind paints it. So it's learning to just sit in it, sit in the uncomfiness, and be like, this is part of growth. This is normal. So making it a new norm takes a little bit of time, a little bit of rewiring, but once it's consistent, it's really easy. So small steps in the right direction, build foundation, and we'll get there. Slow and steady. Well, not even slow and steady, but just consistent. Anyone else have any reflections? I'll open it up a little bit more. What else do we have here? There's like 6 other people. I'm going to name out everyone. We're going to popcorn. Eduardo, Jeffrey, John, Karina, Alex. We did Luke, Miguel, Rudy. Oh, and David just joined.
No, I accidentally exited out.
Oh, you just exited out. Oh,
Yeah.
you were here the whole time?
I was here the whole time. Don't worry.
Oh, beautiful, bro. Okay. Did you get anything out of it since you're on the call?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, especially after today at work, like it was just nonstop with lots of projects going on. I had new clients call in from other states, all wanting work. So the overwhelming aspect is definitely there.
Yeah.
And same thing about not knowing how to say no. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. What do you need? Yeah, we can do that.
You
And
get yourself overwhelmed.
and then just figuring out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get that. So over committing, and that overcommitment causes overwhelm.
Easily. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
We'll talk about that. That's a very interesting cycle. We'll see where that comes up. But a lot of men like to do that. I just know it's very common for men to struggle with like overcommitment, and then
Yeah, because that's not even just like
Yeah.
sorry, that's not even work like just work related. It's more like if a friend's gonna ask for help, it's like, oh, can I use your truck to move? It's like, yeah, sure. When do you need it? Like,
Yep.
It's all about helping people. And that's kind of how I see work, because I work for myself. It's always you're doing this. I'm doing this because I like what I do. It doesn't necessarily feel like work to me, but
That's good. That's good. I get that. That's kind of where I'm at too. So but it expands your bandwidth. Expands your bandwidth to some extent, right? Like you're gonna overcommit to some things, and then you're gonna accomplish all the things, and you're gonna tell yourself that wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
And that helps your capacity to do more, right? So that builds more trust with yourself. To be like, hey, I've done that shit before. I can do it again. Super easy.
Yep.
So it's part of your evolution, dude. But at the same time, like, decipher when you need to start pulling back stress management and all that stuff to help you not feel overwhelmed as fuck all the time.
Yeah, and I think, like you said before, like knowing when to ask for help is a big factor in that.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be you or myself.
Correct. Don't suffer in silence. We have the whole community, and people have asked questions in the chat and the communities. That's why it's there. So I post a lot of reels, and like some in the chat especially, and sometimes people are like, oh, I struggle with that too. And then we talk about it. So yeah, we'll talk about it on our call though. It's an interesting identity that I know what you're talking about, because I go through the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's good, man. Glad you were here. Does anyone else have any other reflections? Any other names that I called out? Because we're right on time. That's fine. Cool. Appreciate y'all being here. Welcome all to everyone that just joined. Happy to have you guys here. You guys got a good first call for your group call. Last one was about like nutrition and gut health. So I do like tangible shit too. But if it's like, all right, let's step into some more mindset related stuff, then it'll light a fire under everyone's ass. But obviously, I don't want the fire to burn out. Don't use it as like, this is a motivational speech. I'm going to post it. You'll be able to watch it again. I'll probably post it tomorrow with other calls as well. But if you have any questions about it, let me know. I see y'all in the chat. Have a great day. And I'll talk to some of you in a little bit because I have more calls. But I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye, guys.